In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the devices I just made for a newer version of the power module, because there are some things has been updated, and for example, some minor errors has been corrected. Even though the last one will work, so the voltages are fine, but there are some things, some places we can still improve. So I can still create the same uh, the schematic or board in the same project. You don't need to start a new project, because if you have too many projects, it can be a little bit confusing for yourself. So I'll directly create a new schematic here. Name it as so shows up here. So do not forget to change it to the correct grade first. So save it as, I'll just do this, but version 2, okay, V2. So since I think I have all the devices available, but if there's something I'm still missing, I'll just go back and I'll pause and uh, go back to the library to make another device. But I think I probably have everything, so it should be pretty fast for the entire process. So let's start from the power. So I'll go back to, you actually need a what's the name of that one? Frame, right? So you need to create the frame first. So there are several different frames. I probably will use the latter one. I just use the latter one. Okay, I'll put it at origin, and I need a power jack, right? So it's gonna be, so don't worry about the large circles, which is fine, because you can pour a lot of solder to fill up the entire circle, even though the shape of the pin for the jack header is not a circle, but that's what that's supposed to be. No problem at all. So here, I'll place it on the top. And what else do you need? You probably need a LED. So there are so many different LEDs. I think the LED I have is a orange color and 0603 package. So I can grab a yellow one, because they're pretty much the same color, and I will rotate it and place it here. Okay, and also I need a resistors. So the resistor is pretty standard. It's a 470 ohms 0603. I think I can find it easily here. 470, and keep in mind 470 is not required, because it's just trying to limit the current, and you can literally use 1K if you like. Okay, and you need a ground. You need several grounds. So let's just make one. Just grab one first. So I'm pretty sure we can copy and paste this guy in the future. Okay, so I will do this, and I need a diode. So it should be a through hole diode, because I have a lot of these ones. So let's just use that one. So the name of that one is something. Yeah, I mean, even though it's not exactly that name, but I think it's totally okay. You can create that package if you like. This is totally not I just don't want to waste time on this. So place the diode here in front of the power, and you need the 1117 modules. So it's not showing up. Let's see if we can do this. So this guy, is this correct? This is not correct. So this is correct, right? Either one, this one or this one. So that's adjustable. It's not adjustable version. So I want to use this SOT 223 version. Let me double check if this is correct before we move forward. SOT, I'm searching on the website and see if that's right. Okay, so that is correct. So I can directly use it. So directly grab this guy, and I think there are two of them. Even though it's Yeah, I don't think that matters since it doesn't have a value with it. So you can put one here and the other one beside it, right? And you need a 0.1 microfarad caps, 0.1 microfarad and 0603. So this one looks great. And place it here. And also another 0.1 microfarad here and a 1 microfarad here. So let's grab a 1 microfarad. So I'm gonna do this search. So I think you have to type 1.0. Yeah. 0603, definitely. So it's this one works great. And then you need a 100 microfarad, so which should be in our library, in the library I have. So you want to search for that. Let's see if that works. Okay, so it's in my library, and this is the one I created in the past video tutorial. And here it should be in parallel with this guy. All right, I'm gonna move it later, so don't worry about that. And then what else? I need the LM 2596, LM 25. I think, oh, it's not working. Interesting. So let's add asterisk there. Let's see if that works. Okay, so I need a 5 volts module first, and I'll add it here, just below it, here. And I know I need another one, which is a 3.3 volts version. I'll just place it below it. And of course, the Schottky belts. Where's the one we made? Oh, that's the Schottky dial for. So that's the one in their library. So I think I should find mine. So I will just search for SS34, see if that works. So that doesn't work. And let me see. Let me see where I can find it. How can I search for it? So this doesn't work. Interesting. So I'm gonna double check if I have it in the library or if I have my library enabled. So dials, it should be enabled because it's in use. So it's SS34 214AB. Okay, let's just search for exactly that name, and I think that's the only way to make it work. So I will do SS34 underscore 214AB. Okay, that works. And I need 2 of them. One here, one here. And inductors. Still not showing mine. In 33 microhenry, still not working. And 12 by 12 still don't work. So let's add an asterisk to it. Okay. So, oh, it's pretty picky. And 33 microfarad is for the 3.3 volts version. Literally, I don't think that matters. I mean, since that's what the schematic, the TI's website gave to us, so let's just use it since we use that for this calculation, though. Okay, and then we need two 4.7 microfarad capacitors. Okay, these guys. So one here, and 22 microfarad and 33 microfarad. So 22 so from the input, and 34, 33. Is that 33? Yeah. 33 for the second one. Okay, should be here. All right. So by far, I think we have placed pretty much everything on schematic instead of the headers. So the headers should be con, and oh, let's search for connector, see if we can find it. So these ones, because the purpose is to have a jumping wire, so you can pick up which one you want to connect to where. So we do need quite a few of these ones. So on the input side and also on the output side. So let's place 3 here first and 4 here. That's what I'm trying to do. So the idea is, if you look at the website, you can see that what I want to do is, let me show you. Sorry. Where is that table? Seriously. Yeah, here. So what I'm trying to do is, so I have input headers. So definitely I can try to, if I short, I have a jumping wire, a jumper. If I short these two, then the power is going to power up the 3.3 volts 1 amp. So I can get output from here. If I short these two, then I'm expecting result from here. If I short these two, then I'm expecting result from 3.3 and 3 amp here. Okay, so but for the first module, since I have the 3.3 volts and 5 volts, will be enabled at the same time because I don't have another jumper. I don't want too many jumpers on the board. So whenever you enable, you have a jumper to short these two pins. So you are going to get a 5 volts and 3.3 volts at the same time. However, these ones will be nothing because none of these are enabled. Okay, hopefully that's clear. And so now let's try to do it. So I'm going to put this one on the monitor so I can look at it when I'm working on that. So here are 3 pairs of jumpers. And so what you are actually need to do is, do I have another jumper? I don't have. Why is this starting from J2? So whatever, it doesn't matter though. So I'm going to so these two, they have to be 5.5 volts, 5 volts, 3.3 volts, and 1 amp and input, right? Because I'm trying to short the 5.5 volts and 3.3 volts, enable the first module, right? So the low power module first. So the second one should be power, and the first one should be the first module's pin. I know this is a little bit confusing, but no worries, you will understand this. I mean, pretty soon, I guess. Because it's not actually really hard to understand. So after I'm done, I'm gonna explain this to you a little bit more, hopefully. Yeah, let's move it to make it nicer. Okay, and line. All right. So what you want to do is right click to name it. So for the first one, it should be the 5 volts, 3.3 volts. So since they are together, that's a 1 amp module, and that should be the input. And the second one should be power, because you have to put them together in order to short them together. That's a power in. so the jumper can short them together easily. And the second one is a 5 volts, 3 amps, and that's the input. And this one still the same power module and in. Yeah, so it's asking if you want to short it. Yes. So I want to delete this little wire. All right, to make it look nicer. And the other one should be 3.3 volts and 3 amps, and that's in as well. And here should be same power in. Yes. Okay, so these are the inputs, and so the other side should be the outputs. But before we do that, let's make the connection first, so it's not being messed up, I guess, if that's the correct word. So align them so that it looks nicer. So before we move forward, let's make the connections. I have a reference on the other side of my monitor, so when I'm making the connections, I can still look at it. So the jack header has all these, these two pins are both ground, so just short it without any problem. And you have a ground pin here. This one should directly go to the diode, but however, they're apparently not on the same line. So just move it to the same line, hopefully, and then short it to here. Okay, that's the first thing. And then wait, no, because you don't directly deliver the power to this guy. The power should be so the power here, power comes in, should be this power in. So what you actually want to do is just have a little label and right click and name it as power in. So they will be shorted together. So whenever you have power in, so the power will be available as these pins. So whenever you have a jumper, it's going to be shorted to this power supply for different modules. So have options, right? And definitely, whenever you part it up, you want the LED to turn on, so you know you got power on the board. So what you can do is you can make all the connections to the ground, and also the connection to the power. So you have a power indicator for that purpose. And also these two pins are shorted, but you still need them to be shorted to the ground at the same time. So you have a, wait, they seem like they're not on the same grade. Let me try this one more time. Okay, so it's shorted. Save. So this part is fine. And the next, because the input here should be the 3.3 power in, should be this one. So I'm going to directly right click and go to name and copy this name, just in case I have any errors somewhere. So then I hope they are aligned really well. So I will just move it slightly closer to here, so they're on the same line. Okay, and you need a little wire from here, and you want to name it as the same as the power, so they are shorted together. Okay, and definitely the output of the diode goes into the power module, so make the connection to here. And also, since all these names looks like they are on the top of each other, so you can directly just choose to not show it. So go to properties and turn it off. Okay, same as this one, just turn it off. You're not deleting that, right? So just make it not visible, since you do not actually need to look at it all the time. So you can place these two parts little bit to the middle, so it's easier to wire them up to the top. And you want to move this a little bit to the right. Okay, and then you just wire them up here, here, and this one directly go to here. And you just need to short everything here to the ground. We'll add a ground later. So, but just make the connection for all the parts for now. I think, which is, did I make the connection? So the way you can check is right click and do the show. Okay, so see, all the wires are being highlighted, so which means they are shorted together. Okay, keep going. So these are definitely grounds. Just ground all of them. Okay, no problem. Yeah, save. So I think you can move the name of these ones if you like. Like this. Okay. So when people are looking at the schematics, they know what's the capacitance of these parts. So I think pretty much everything here is done for the first module. And definitely later on, you have to rename all these pins to make the connection from here to the output headers. But now I think the connection is fine. We can double check with all these pins later. Let's make the connection here before we wrap everything up. Okay, so keep in mind we added a new pin here, which should be grounded. So in terms of ground, we are missing a ground here. So let's just add it in case we'll forget it at some point, and connect it to connect from here. Yes, right. Save. For here, the capacitor get into pin 1. Let's do that. Okay, and this go to the inductor. So seem like they're not aligned. So move this down a little bit and make the connection. And here as well, connect, connect. And you need ground. So let's grab a ground from the top. Okay, I don't know why this one got a wire here, but let's delete it and remake it. Is that because of the gray? I use my default gray. Should work. Let's zoom in. Ah, okay. Let's double check. Okay, so there's no connection. Did you see that? This is highlighted, but this is not. So it's going to be an issue. So let's redo it. Boom. I need to get it to here and do this. Okay. So now right click and show. It's all highlighted. So that's going to be right. For ground, let's move it first. Move it to the same line. Okay, it's here. And then connect. And here, here. Okay. So these are, so that's a plate, remember, for heat sink, right? So we want to ground it. And for this one, it's also grounded. That makes things pretty easy. Really? Show? Oh, it's highlighted. It's kind of about where there's no joint. That's fine as long as it works. And go to here. Make the connection to here. Connection here. Here. Save. and check if this is all connected. And looks like yes, they are. Save. So this part is done. So see, if you have all the parts ready in the library, actually it's not taking too much time to get this done. You know, grounds, copy and paste, and align them to the same line, and short it to the ground, and this guy to here. So all these parts should be shorted to ground, and I'm gonna move these two parts a little bit down, and this need to be aligned to this one. Yep. Okay. And draw the line. Wait, what's on the top? Top should be power. Yeah, I'm gonna add it. So we should add it now, probably, just in case we'll forget it at some point. Sorry, a little bit sloppy right now. Okay, let's redo it. So, if you want to make it perfect, you need to, a lot of times, you really need to zoom in. So like this. Okay, and here, I'm going to do it this connection. And short it to the ground. Need to zoom in a little bit. Zoom in. Boom. Okay. And then zoom in. Boom. Zoom in. Boom. Okay. These are all grounds, I guess. So makes things very easy. So that's output. Save. So that's pretty much everything for the schematic. So the next things I need to do is to label the ports, so to make sure the power comes in and output goes to the output headers. So let's start from the top. Just do it one by one in case we are making any errors in the future. And so first of all, I don't think this should be ground. I don't know why this is grounded. That because I made a connection here. Sorry, that's a mistake. So you have to make the same changes to it. This is not right. So let's right click and double check if I have a good wire. Yes, I have. So now find out this pin. Short it to ground. Yes, I want short it to the ground. Save. So here are some. That's a power jack, and I do need to name this pin as power in. Just rename it since we, it should be power in. So which is the power go to the header here, right? So you can short it to use a jumper to connect to anyone to enable them. And we already have this one as an input. It's already being connected there. So the first output should be 5 volts. So let's write. So that output shouldn't be here. So it should be here. And the second one, so all the pins. The reason I want to use a 2-pin connector is I do need a ground pin when you are connecting everything to outside. You probably, if you have a ground pin just really close by, it can be really handy. So all these pins will be every single voltage output plus a ground being placed just nearby. So it's just for your convenience. Okay. All right, let's just name it one by one. So the first one, I want to name it as 5 volt 1 amp output, right? And the second one definitely ground. Should be grounded. And here, this is 3.3 volt. Sometimes they just write down 3V3, which means 3.3 volts. They can do it either way. 1 amp and out. Okay. And definitely ground. And this one, it should be 5 volt 3 amp. And this should be ground. Yep. And this is 3.3 volt 3 amp out. And this is ground. So now, because this is 5 volts output, 1 amp, so which is exactly this guy, so I will just copy and paste this guy's name and name it here as this. Okay. And for the 3.3 volts output, right click and grab the name and go to here and name it. Right. So these are the two low power output, and now here is the high power output. So starting from here, there's a 5 volts 3 amps. Name, copy. 5 volts is on the top. Did I do that? 22 microfarad. So 5 volts is on the top. 3.3 volts is at the bottom. I think I made it right. Let's double check. 4.7, and that's 47, and 22, 33. Yeah, here is a ground. I'm gonna connect that later. But now I have a this line need to be renamed as this. Yes, right. So this will be shorted to here. And the very last one, name, copy, 3.3, right click, name, paste. Yes. Okay. Ground. Save. Alright, so do not forget to deliver the voltage to here, to the input of the LM2596 modules. So the way to do that is just copy and paste, and go to here, right click and name, paste, okay, yes, this, and then go to 3.3 volts, name, copy, okay, and here, name, paste, okay, yes, place it here. So let's do a quick check first. So the main things are the powers is the first thing you want to check. For example, if you have everything grounded properly. So I have two grounds here, and power. If I plug in the power, so here will be definitely powered up. So it's going to show this LED, and these two are grounded. So power in is delivered to here, 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 3 points. If I have a jumping wire, I'm going to short this to here to deliver voltage to here, and that's a 5 volts 3.3 volts one in should show up here. So the power will be delivered to the first power module, the low power module, and the output I have 5 volts 1 amp and 3.3 volts 1 amp. So they are actually here, 5 volts 1 amp, 3.3 1 amp, and now I also need 5 volts 3 amp and 3.3 volts 3 amp. So they are here, and output will be 5 volts 3 amp, 3.3 volts 3 amp, so they are here. So I think everything is correct, and just take a look at the capacitors. These are the correct capacitors. Inductors, I only have one type of inductors, and here I'm not seeing any problem. So I think the schematic is fine. Okay, I think it's good to go for the PCB layout. Hopefully we can repeat everything on our side. Okay, we'll see you in the next video.